So, I can't. So on a whim, one of my patrons linked me to the Duke Audio U5 Hi-Fi Balanced Headphone Amplifier. And it came in this case. That little case there, the little tiny little baby case. And I'm like, you know what? This is cute. I'll buy this for $57 and review it. And then I got it. And then I plugged it in USB because it takes USB power and it takes XLR inputs and it has balanced 4.4 and 4 pin. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is this thing doing? And I got Susfara and Expanse and 909s. And these are the Moondrop Voids, which are no longer being sold because apparently they're changing everything about them. So I'm using them as the headphone that if it blows up, I don't care. And I got the Argons here. And I'm just going to scratch my head a little bit because the last 2 days have been a whirlwind of just fuckery. Like, I got a great GIF. Hold on, wait, where's DMS? I gotta go to my conversation with DMS because that's the most. Because it's like I put the Burson op amps that were in the Burson Soloist X3. I cut the things that I wouldn't want to cut to play with them. I cut them out and I put them in there. And Frankenstein smoking weed, going good, because that's what I'm doing here. Losing my mind. So this little $57 amplifier that is so small I could hide it in the headphone. With stock op amp, here's the thing. All right, I've got these V6, what are these, the V6 Vivids? V6 Vivid Dual, it takes stereo op amps. And it says it on the things. I linked this to my $10 patronage chat. If you don't know, for $10 a month, either subscribe to our Patreon, you can get into a private chat where I have discussions about things I'm doing all the time. And when this came and I plugged it in, I went, haha, I linked it, and everyone bought one. Because it's stupid. I actually have a patron here.
Hello.
You're in the highest tier, right? The $10,000 a month tier, so you could actually just be in my house.
Yeah, totally.
Totally is. I needed these because I'm trying to do dynamic things. Anyway, so how good is this? I want a second opinion.
Amazing. It's great. It has problems, but it's great.
Yeah, no, it's got like, it doesn't come with a power supply. So at first I whipped out, actually at first I plugged it into that little Anker IQ charger there. And I'm like, that's fine. But then it's like, warning, do not give it more than 5 volts. And I'm worried about any of the chargers that have like the 5, 9, and 12 volt. So I whipped out this thing, which is the big linear topping P50. But it only has a 1 amp output. But it's a big linear power supply. And I really couldn't tell a sound quality difference. And then I went searching just today for a USB power brick that is limited to 5 volts, but has more amperage. And this one is 5.2 volts, 2 amps. It's a Lenovo for something that I have, probably my original phone, something Lenovo. Anyway, so that's a higher voltage. Then I added a balun to the wire because this is a little wire that it comes with, and I was getting weird interference. I'm like, is it coming through the power? So I added a balun. So then I ripped the op amps out, and originally I had tried some op amps I got at California Can Jam, at SoCal Can Jam, and those didn't work. They were doing really weird bad things, so I pulled those out. Then I remembered the Burson Soloist came with 6 replaceable like test op amps that were different models from the op amps it comes with. In fact, the op amps this unit came with are JRC B032A. And the op amps I swapped it to from this case are JRC B152A or 5532D versus 4580D. I guess that's a D, not a 0. Okay, that's what these are the 4580Ds were on this. And this is the 5532Ds, which I put in it. I'm going to put those back in a second. But until then, I've got the Vivids here. And so I should give a tour of the unit. So hold on, let me power it off. You can actually click the volume knob off. I'm going to put it back in its case before the end of this review so you could see it in its hilarious entirety. So I guess the biggest problem with the unit, here's your USB input, which is actually, it should just be a USB input, honestly. It should just be a USB plug. But it's one of these fuckers, so you can't even like upgrade the cable to something retardedly expensive. But you get your XLR inputs, and that's it. I added XLR to RCA inputs because I'm using the Denafrips Aries 2 to feed it because I was using a Geshelli, and I'm like, this is so good. Let's go for broke with an R2R DAC. But then I was feeding an XLR And this has so much gain potential, like it's got so much volume, that I was lowering foobar 24 decibels before the DAC, before it went into it. So that I'm like, all right, I'll swap to these DD Hi-Fi RCAs and these RCA adapters, because that'll give less voltage, and that helped a great deal. So I converted this to be RCA input instead of balanced. And then your front is a little blue LED, and then you get the full size and the 4.4, and there's a relay, and there's a little click on off, which look at this nice knob it comes with. It's gold. It's shitty gold, but it's gold. So I had an amplifier years ago that I never sold, and then I think I eventually sold it because I just didn't have a need for it anymore. But it was very similar to this, and I was hoping I would remember the model number, but I can't. SMSL made a little tiny metal box, and it had a giant 15-volt transformer and a screw-in port, because it had push-pull. It was positive and negative. It wasn't just plug-in 15-volt. It was a screw-in 4-pin power supply. And it was about this size. And it had so much gain and almost nothing inside of it. And this has so much gain. And keep in mind, these red fuckers, there's not supposed to be here. There's supposed to be little things. Then there's like nothing, and there's a few things on the bottom, and that's it. And yet it somehow takes signal and just ramps it up via USB power into something that can actually move like Susvara. Not fucking joking. Now, with these V6 Vivid op amps in it, it distorts quite easily for planars, but so far, like 909s, the Moondrops, and now I'm going to put all those back together, and we're going to give a shot to the... You got to be real careful when you have it all ripped apart like this so you don't break anything off the board. Now I'm going to give it on to my 600s, which are up in my office. Off. We need to plug this back into the thing, and then we're going to plug this thing back into the thing. Basically, if you're looking for a cutesy little balanced amplifier, but that isn't that cute because it's fucking got claws, this thing is the thing. Like, this is the stupidest fucking amplifier I've ever witnessed. Are we good? Click on blue LED. As I will teach you the proper procedure, do not put these over your ears. Put them over your temple, and then slide them over the ears once you hear music playing, not distorted and extremely loud. Did I pause the music? I paused the music. That's always check your music is playing. Also, that's going to get loud. All right. Oh, Queen. Well, I will now have my patron assess. Yes, yes, we concur. We concur. This is fucking amazing. So now, the thing is, I don't know if we got too much gain from going with these, what are these, $85 a piece? These op amps are $85 a piece. So each one of these op amps costs more than the whole amplifier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to put back the, not the stock ones. I'm going to put back these like Burson add-on ones because they have a higher number, so therefore in my brain they're better. And then I'm going to reassemble the case, which I had to drill out one of the screws because you have to take out 10 screws to get this apart like this. And one of the screws just didn't come out, so I had to drill it out. But even though they tell you you're supposed to take it apart and swap op amps, Jesus God, all fucking mighty. Ta-da! Okay, so I've put the unit back together. Here's what it looks like assembled. It's got heat sinks for no reason because there's nothing that's going to dissipate heat because it doesn't get hot. The op amps were the hottest part of it, and that was only with the big Bursons. Not even, I put the little Bursons back, I had a little JRCs back in. Still using the adapters, still coming out of the same DAC, although I could swap it out. I'm actually cutting 16 decibels off in foobar, which means this is outputting 16 decibels lower than it would through RCA, which is the lower voltage already. Susvara. Review for the Susvara hasn't come out yet. The owner of these actually is considering selling them, so they may end up in a yard sale, depending on what I think, because they may end up in my collection. They're good. We'll find out. We'll find out. I have to buy furniture before I buy Susvara. Pretty sure that's the way the world works, is furniture to sit first and then something to listen to on there. Oh, by the way, in case this probably won't come out before Capital Audio Fest. But anyway, I was at Capital Audio Fest. This is coming. We're here to talk about this amplifier and what it is, because it's so confusing from a logical standpoint because it has nothing in it. And I don't know how you make USB power. It says it runs, according to the Amazon page, which you can read yourself, everything internally is 24 volts. It's accepting 5 volts. Then it's got to be up converting the voltage, which isn't like it's a simple process, but it still needs some circuit board to do that. And there's not enough circuit board in this to make it like obvious that it's only this small part. So I don't know if half of it is just up converting from 5 volt to 24 volt and taking our supposedly 4 volt XLRs and upping that voltage. But then where's the amperage coming from? Because really the balls. But then I went to this 2.5 amp USB, strictly 5 volt, and I think it sorted out a lot of my distortion issues I was getting at higher volumes because 1 amp was sort of choking it. And it's $57. Do you want to play with something really cool? Actually, there's a non-balanced one as well. I'll link. I don't own it. I think it's the U3. It's another U, but it's like, I'll link that. And I'm not going to put a sticker on it for this simple reason. Since I haven't gone to Capital Audio Fest yet, and I'm bringing this, I want people to take it seriously. You know, I put waifu stickers and everything, and I found this sticker, which is the exact size of the entire unit. But I'm not going to put it on until maybe after Capital Audio Fest. Or maybe I'll put it on the bottom so when people flip it over, they're like, ha 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 ha, what the fuck? This thing is dumb. This is the stupidest amplifier. I hate the blue LED, but it's Charlie Sheen Tiger Blood crazy for $57. You can use it with an RCA input. You just have to buy these adapters, which I'll link in the description. I'll try to find a decent 5 volt power supply to link in the description as well. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, the fact that it has a 4.4 and a full XLR and like a nice... The volume pot's actually pretty decent too. It doesn't like falter left and right. It was pretty even all the way up. I don't know what else to say about this other than if I was gonna Echo, turn on Basement 7. If I was rebuilding a burn-in rig, instead of using, by the way, review of my burn-in rig area and how this works on the second channel. If I was I wouldn't buy another Tascam MH8 8-channel amplifier. I would buy 8 of those, or 10 of those, or 12 of those, and then just stand them up vertically, build a power distribution box, and then I would probably buy a really nice 5 volt power supply for all of them, and then just solder the pins for the XLRs. Just one into the other, into the other, into the other, into the other, and just have the world's fucking best 8-channel amplifier. It would literally be the dumbest thing ever. This is dumb. This whole thing is dumb. And I'm glad I'm able to share with you on like the 2 days I've had it. If anything comes up between now, after Can Jam, this video won't be public yet. So I'll add a comment that says, hey, I blew up this pair of expensive headphones because this amplifier sucks. But like, I've taken pretty big precautions with it, starting every track paused with volumes off, unplugging things, swapping op amps, being real careful. And it hasn't destroyed anything that I own or I'm borrowing from people. So I guess that makes it a quality product from Duke Audio. You know, this is fucking hilarious. I might just put the sticker on now, just to book a... links to this in the description. Links to the adapters in the description. How does it sound? I didn't say how it sounds. I hear myself talking about it, but like there's no description of it because it's not warm. The op amp change actually affected it. The voltage actually affected it. The only time it felt hollow was on... It claims, by the way, 1.4 volts at 32 ohms. 1.4 watts at 32 ohms. It claims that. And I think it probably surpasses that a lot. Like a lot. But they don't want to claim any higher than that because then it's lying, but it's more like a distortion limit. Like, it doesn't distort sus varas as long as you're quelling the input voltage enough and keeping it before, like, full volume. It's just a clean, like, excited amp. I don't know how else to describe it. It feels like electricity is just being converted, but there's only 5 volts, so how is it doing that? It's dumb. If you want to spend $57 on something dumb, spend it on this. This thing is dumb, and I love it. Do you love it?
I love it.
Did you buy one?
Yeah, it's coming today.
It's coming today. He's not even at home where he lives, but it's coming. And I hope it's coming for you too. And that wallpaper available in the Horde, Patreon, subscribe, start see reviews early, participate in yard sales. I think I'm making all sound demos private sound demos, so I could use any fucking songs I want and put titties in the background. It's an option, right? So I might make another $5 tier on Patreon to see how much interest there is in that. Because if there's more than none, I'll do that. $10 a month behind the scenes private Telegram chat where they know all about this. I thought they were going to buy them all out. They've been seeing the whole process as we go along. You could ask me questions there directly. And if you're in that $10 chat, even temporarily, you're in the lifetime Swap Meet channel where you can buy, sell, and trade gear. Check out Hi-Fi Guides. Check out the sponsors. There's sponsor links sometimes that appear randomly throughout these videos. This is not a sponsored video, but there's a sponsor link. Someone might be renting that out for a week. If you'd like to rent it out for your company or business or your kids, what the hell is it called? Bar mitzvah. If you want to advertise your child's bar mitzvah in a permanent link on a bunch of different Z reviews, contact me. You can rent out that spot and announce. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You're good. We're good. This is fucking stupid. And I'll see you in another one.